Donald Trump just broke the internet with a bombshell ad of Kamala Harris debating herself.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
And the first rule of negotiating is you never negotiate against yourself. And in politics, whoever tells the biggest lie wins, unless of course you've got a savage like Donald Trump who clearly exposes Kamala versus Kamala. The truth against lies, good against evil, the truth versus lies, fact versus fiction, and fiction versus her track record.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
And we the people are very proud of this ad. Hello friends, welcome back. You're watching Chris Uncensored. And David Sachs just put out a tweet that party affiliation is now entirely correlated with trust in mainstream media. Republicans realize it's propaganda, independents are on the path, and Democrats are still plugged into the matrix. And the truth is, Kamala is completely incompetent without a teleprompter, notes, scripts, and rules, and there's 0% chance she wants anything to do with debating Donald Trump on equal footing. And her inability to answer questions about Trump's policies should be frightening.
On a different front, Axios this week reported that President Trump, if he gets a second term, will sort of dial back, for lack of a better term, DEI programs that the Biden administration has put in forth. Obviously, I know you disagree with that. I obviously believe that you don't want him to get a second term. That said, if that does happen, what do you think that would do to race relations in this country?
Well, let me say we're going to win, so it's not going to happen. But I think that, listen, today is actually, I believe, an anniversary in terms of Dr. King, right? And I was just in Selma, and we acknowledged the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. I think it's really important that we as Americans always embrace our history, the parts that we're proud of and the parts that we're not proud of, but that we can't forget. And we should all agree that we should teach history, we should learn history if we're to ever have an accurate idea of where we want to go and where we don't want to go in the future. And that means also acknowledging the importance of diversity. It means acknowledging the importance of the fact that everyone should have equal opportunity to compete and equity. And then, of course, inclusion, that, hey, let's look around the room and see who's not here, and did we leave the door open?
Oh, this is terrifying. No, you should not be included if you didn't earn your spot in the room or the country because of your merit. It's a meritocracy that has driven our country and our economy and our republic forward. But that's what they, them, and those want to talk about. But not everybody's falling for it, and I frankly love this woman.
74% of American adults now are overweight or obese. Close to 50% of children are overweight or obese. 120 years ago, when someone was obese, there were case reports written about it.
Yes.
Literally, there were people in the circus if you had obesity.
Sideshow fat. Yeah, it was so unusual.
It was so unusual. It is now 74% of our country, 77% of young adults are unfit to serve in the military because of these issues like obesity. Now let's talk about diabetes. 50%, a full 50% of American adults have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, which is a fundamental issue in how
half the
country, Tucker, have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and 30% of teens now have prediabetes. This was a condition that no pediatrician would have seen in their lifetime 50 years ago. 1% of Americans in 1950s in 1950 had type 2 diabetes. We have 18% of teens with fatty liver disease, a disease that used to be in late-stage alcoholics. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in the young.
But what's not great is a man celebrating on X that he just got his new pussy. Here he is holding his balls with his husband and his nicely wrapped up and protected pussy. I wonder if this is the inclusion that Kamala wants for us. She definitely doesn't want Robert F. Kennedy Jr. joining the Trump MAGA team. She definitely doesn't want Tulsi Gabbard joining the Trump MAGA team. And yet, here they are on Team MAGA. Fight, fight, fight. Meanwhile, freedom of speech is not free, and they are arresting those who have voices that aren't chopping off their dicks, who aren't installing new vaginas. So once again, Andrew Tate is arrested, and Telegram CEO Pavel Durov is arrested too, which I can only suspect means that anybody who wants to max out their freedom of speech is likely to be arrested too. But the only one that I'm looking forward to being held accountable for her actions or lack thereof is Kamala. But I don't need her to debate Donald Trump to know exactly what will happen if she does, because she's right. History does teach us something. And I suspect she learned she wants nothing to do with debating anybody.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
Seems like that little history lesson is no bueno for Kamala, which is why we need to make America great again. The superpowers have already joined up, formed like Voltron, and are prepared to fight, fight, fight for truth, justice, and the American way.
Hi. Hello there. Hi, I work for the Harris and Waltz campaign. Take it off. No, I'm going to leave it there, because...
No, you're not going to leave it there.
Oh, why?
Because I can't stand them.
Do you not support tampons in men's bathrooms?
No, I don't support tampons in men's bathrooms.
Why?
Because tampons are for women. Where are they going to stick it? Up their ass? Get it the fuck out of here.
Well,
Get it out of my property.
It looks good there, though. Wait, don't touch my sign. That's my sign.
I don't give a shit. They're a bunch of fucking communists.
You didn't address me by my pronouns.
What are you, a he, she? Fucking transgender is what you are.
I'm two-spirit.